Welcome back to the Biz of Bree podcast. Hey, Ashley.
Hey Bree, how are you?
I am, I don't even know. I don't know how to answer that question right now.
Well, you look so beautiful and tan. Is that from your most recent trip or what?
So I know I look extra tan. I got a little bit of sun in Miami. I just got back from a bachelorette weekend in Miami. But prior to Miami, I went to get a spray tan and the girl talked my first spray tan ever, by the way. I've always
Okay.
just tanned myself.
Okay.
And I go in for this first spray tan. She was such a sweetheart, walked me through everything. But she basically was like, "Oh, we're offering a special right now for brand new customers. Normally this would be like $65, but it will be 45 and it's unlimited for the month." So she's like, "You could come back like once a week." She's like, "Just cancel before May 1st." So I was like, "Oh,
That's
okay,
amazing.
perfect." So I decided we're just going to continue the Miami glow. So I went and got another spray tan this morning. And I think it does because it hasn't been washed off yet because you're supposed to wait. They told me like
Mhm.
as- at least she said at least 3 hours, but most of my friends have said ideally overnight. Is that true?
It's true. The
Yeah.
longer you let it set, the darker and the longer it will last. You
Okay.
figure if you're in a shower, you're opening up your pores again, the color is going to fall out a lot faster. The same actually goes for hair color too. After you get your hair colored, you should wait a minimum 24 hours before you wash it again. So,
Yep. So
yeah,
mine actually told me
same.
this last time with the blonde. She
Mhm.
said 72 hours. She
Yeah,
said like,
no. Yeah, blonde, you can go
yeah.
so much longer because the hair doesn't produce as much oil, especially, like, when it's dry, and those natural
Mhm,
oils help repair the blonde, but
mhm,
usually as dark-haired girlies, 24 hours, it starts to get greasy, and we
okay.
definitely have to wash, but if you can wait longer, the better. It's just going to make your color last so long, spray tan or hair color. Best tip you
Okay.
can get.
See, I love all these tips, and you're gonna share a bunch of tips with us on today's episode. We decided that's one of the things we're gonna talk about because I was telling Ashley on this Miami trip, when you're in a room, we stayed like, in 2 different hotel rooms, so there's 8 of us, and there's 4 girls in each room, and you're getting ready together. I love that energy so much because then I'm always learning
Right?
about a new product, or I see how
Yes.
somebody else is doing their hair, how somebody else is putting on their makeup, or something in the shower. I'm like, "Ooh, what is this?" And I love that so much. And we were
Yeah.
kind of talking about some of, I think, tips that you're going to be sharing with us
My
for
gosh.
just overall hygiene, how to be the most beautiful, best smelling version of you. Yes.
You wanna smell so good. I feel like one of my biggest flexes in life, and I can share this with you guys because I feel like you truly are my people now. Because in the last podcast, we talked about how I said you have to have teeth in your head as one of my deal breakers, and so many people loved it, and they commented, and they thought it was hilarious, and they realized, like, I wasn't being stupid, like, obviously, I meant oral hygiene and teeth, the whole thing, it all goes hand in hand, but I feel like one of my biggest flexes in life is my husband has said it to me, little kids have said it to me, they're like, "You smell so good," and my husband told me, like, "You have the best hygiene of any woman I've ever been with," and I feel like that is such a flex. Is that weird for me to love that
No.
compliment?
No, that is an amazing compliment,
Right?
but especially I will say, great that your husband thinks you smell amazing, but if you hear the last podcast episode, I think it is just because you guys are such a good, like, we talked
Yeah.
in the last one about the chemical pheromones of
Yes.
how each other smells. You guys are so in sync with each other, but if little kids, and I'll even say not even little, if middle school age kids pay you a compliment, you know that is a real compliment. Because teaching 7th grade, that was one of the, oh, I got some of the most raw, like, I remember
They're
one day I came in, I think after eating a
savages.
big Italian dinner, and they were like, "Are you pregnant?" or like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, it's just a pasta belly, but thank you very much." Like,
You wanna be humbled in life? Talk to a middle school student. They are savages, and you're so right. And you know they smell good not just because they tell you, but they constantly are, like, trying to hug you, they're trying to
mhm.
be near you, and you're like, "Okay, it's enough," but you just I'm telling you, kids are so honest, so when they tell you, "You smell good," top tier compliment.
Top tier for sure. Top tier.
Yep, I
But okay, I
agree.
wanted to tell everybody because I did get some questions about where we went in Miami, and I have some recommendations because it was so much fun. And I just want to give the bride, Ashley, kudos and a little shout out on here because I love her Instagram. If you guys are looking for really cool Southern California, because she lives in LA, style, vibes, she's always
She
sharing really good
does.
restaurants too. Her Instagram's amazing, but her clothes are always
Mhm.
the cutest. And if you're gonna be a bride yourself, you should get all the links to the stuff she wore if you're having any kind of a beach or tropical bachelorette party, because everything from her bathing suits to her dresses, she just looked amazing.
She
She did
did.
yeah, it was so much fun. She's beautiful. But I feel like she planned a really cool itinerary for us,
Ooh, I
and
like
there was
that.
some yeah, new restaurants that I've been to Miami before, but I hadn't tried some of these restaurants, and they were so good. So the first night, we went to Sexy Fish for dinner, which I will say, my personal recommendation would be skip the dinner, just go there for drinks because it's more the vibe that you're going to enjoy. It's just a
Okay.
really beautiful under the sea feeling bar, restaurant. There was a
Okay.
lot of sushi on the menu. Again, if like that's kind of your cup of tea, you might enjoy it. But the thing you really have to see at Sexy Fish is the bathrooms. The
Really?
girls' bathroom, if I ever build a dream house, I want a powder bathroom that's the Sexy Fish bathroom inspired. It is hot pink tile, mosaic tile of mermaids everywhere. It is so cute, it's so pretty. It's where you gotta take a picture for your Instagram for sure. It's so cute.
You
And
need to
then the
send me
boys
pics.
yeah, I'll
I
have to
need to
send you some
see.
of the pics. Maybe I'll
Mhm.
put some on the screen for the
Yeah.
YouTube audience. And then the men's bathroom is all blue, and there's octopus, and there's a James Bond mannequin at one of the urinals. So, we did ask the guy at the door because they let you if no men are in there. We're like, "Can we just take a peek?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, no one's in there." And it looks like James Bond is basically like in a scuba outfit standing at one of the urinals. It's very, very funny. So, if no men are in there, take a little peek and
Steven would love that. He is a huge James Bond fan, so I feel like that's very on brand for, like, a men's bathroom. I love that.
yeah. And then the next day, she booked a basically it was a brunch table at this place called Nikki Beach,
Mhm.
which it's sand under your feet, so you feel like you're kind of in this beach bar, and there was
Love
cabanas
it.
as well that you could book, but we were just at a table, and it was just fun because the ocean is right over the pathway there. It just felt very Miami, very beachy, very fun, a good place to go during the day for food, drinks, hanging out. We hung out there for probably 3 hours just all talking and, like, having so much fun.
Was that
Um
the day you wore, like, the crochet outfit?
Yes.
You looked
Yeah.
so hot, Brie. I love you gotta link that one. Actually, all your outfits, you looked so hot. I really love the black leopard print too. That was night 1, right? At the
That
restaurant you
so
just
yeah, that's
talked
what she
about?
did is every night there was a theme. So the first night was the leopard or animal print, like wild night out theme. And then
Mhm.
the next night was the rhinestone sparkle theme. And then the final night was something blue and everybody wore blue. It actually looked so cute in the pictures too.
It
It was
did.
adorable.
And
Yeah.
Ashley's so beautiful. I mean, all of your friends are, but she was so beautiful. And it's funny that you say she's from LA. For some reason, I thought she lived in Ohio. I'm like, how does she have such good style? Not that you don't, but you know, us Midwest girlies, our style's a little bit different than like West Coast girlies. And so
Yeah.
I should have known because her outfits, they seem very like boho or West Coast. And
Yes.
she just looked so beautiful. She's going to make
She
an
really
amazing
did.
bride.
Yeah, she really did. But yeah, that was the day I wore the crochet bathing suit. Everybody was saying it was very White Lotus vibes.
Loved it.
And
I've
I
never
had this,
seen
like,
White
starfish
Lotus.
necklace. You haven't seen White Lotus?
But wait, you know I'm really sensitive, like, can I handle it? Is there, like, any type of, like, what is it about? Is it
So there's been 3 different seasons, and now I watched the first 2 seasons, I believe when I was still married to Adam. I feel like we watched them together.
oh, so I really have some catching up to do.
Yeah, and the 3rd season just came out, and each season, though, takes place in a different hotel in a tropical location. So the 1st season took place in Hawaii, the 2nd
Love.
season took place on Sicily, which is so strange to me because I've lived in Hawaii, my family's from Sicily. I was every
Exactly.
season I've been like, "Ooh, I'm so connected." But this season they're in Thailand, so I've never been to Thailand. So maybe it's a sign I
Maybe
need
we
to
need
go
to
to
go.
Thailand, have some
Podcast
fun in
tour.
Bangkok. Um, but no, it was a very White Lotus vibes outfit that I was wearing. I loved it. I did link it on my like to know it.
Love
Um,
it.
and then we went to Carbone for dinner, which everybody was telling us, "Oh my god, Carbone is the best. You have to eat at Carbone. You have to eat at Carbone."
I even asked you that. I was like, "Brie, tell me all about Carbone." I'm like, "Is it everything that they say, or do you think it's overhyped?" And I trust your, like, taste in food because I feel like in Mexico City, you and KP had incredible food,
We
and you
did.
travel a lot. So, you definitely are used to cuisine from everywhere, and tell them what you said because I was actually so shocked by this.
Yeah, so okay, it was great. Like, my drink was good because I had a they made some kind of special margarita. It was good. And the appetizers were really good. There was this prosciutto and mozzarella that was really good. I kind of wish it had a little bit of melon with it, though. I think it just would have enhanced it and made it even better.
Yep.
But as far as the main courses, we had veal parmesan and we did the famous, everybody's like, you have to have the spicy vodka rigatoni.
Mhm.
It was good, but it to me wasn't anything different than I could have gone to Little Italy here in Cleveland and had.
Yeah,
So,
see?
good meal, like, I don't have a complaint about it, but I'm like, it's really overhyped.
That's what I was so shocked by because you see, like, celebrities and everybody's like, "Carbone, Carbone," and I'm like, "Okay, it's gotta be so amazing," but you've obviously had good Italian food. Here in Michigan, I have a lot of Italian friends, people near Italy who make really delicious food, and I just feel like if you could make that at home, when I go to a restaurant, I expect it to be next level. So,
See,
I don't
and
know if I would do it.
yeah, I know I'm a really good just in general, I can cook pretty much anything, but
Right.
I think especially Italian, I'm just gonna say it 'cause of my roots, I think I could have made just as good of a meal as what I ate at Carbone.
See, that is disappointing, but also I'm so glad that you're like transparent and not one of those influencers who's like, no, it was amazing just because everyone says it's amazing. Like, we want transparency over here. If it's not good, don't let me waste my money in this economy, please. I'm not going to Carbone.
I will, I'll tell you the truth. I think it was, like, a great vibe. Again, it wasn't bad, just not as hyped up food-wise. It wasn't the best meal I
Yeah,
ever ate. So,
yeah.
yeah. Now, the next day, this was kind of one of the only things it was a bummer, but it was probably good because I think at this point, we had been having so much fun, but there was really bad wind on Saturday. So they actually canceled. We were supposed to go out on a boat and it got canceled.
I feel like that happens so much in Miami. I feel like everyone's always getting their boat days canceled. I don't know what it is, if it is
Yeah.
windy, like you said, or what, but I feel like I hear that all the time.
Yeah, so we didn't get to do that activity, but it was fine. Like we're still by the pool, got some sunshine. I'm like laughing though, because just quickly looking at it, I feel like I'm gonna be progressively darker throughout this entire video because of this spray tan. I'm looking right now, I'm like, oh yeah, you look like you're getting even like darker and darker as we're talking. But it was great. It's like we just had kind of a chill day by the pool. But the last night was my favorite 2 places we went to in Miami that I would say, like, if you're in Miami for a night, this is where I would go. We went to Mila for dinner, and it was a rooftop restaurant. Very, I would say, White Lotus vibes. Like, it kind of felt like we were in the Thailand White Lotus hotel because there was little pools of, fountains and fish and little bridges you would walk over to get to certain tables, and there was, like, ivy or plants kinda, like, growing and hanging from the ceiling and a bunch of palm trees. It was just very beachy vibes up there. It was really, really cool. I thought the food was the best out of any of the restaurants that we went to.
Okay. Okay.
And I mean, the drinks were top notch as well. Just the overall vibes were so good. Mila's where I'd be like, that's where you want to go out of all
Okay.
the places. And then we went to, it was this very low key, it was called Medium Cool. It was this underground jazz club, speakeasy vibes, and that was just a fun place, I feel like, to go. We went and got drinks after dinner there, and I feel like it was just chill, like, we could still talk, but there was music playing, so you could still have a good time if you wanted to with the music, but it was just fun, and yeah, I'm, like, so happy that we had good weather the whole time. All the girls who came were so lovely because I only knew 4 of them. So that's how I knew the bride because
Okay.
she's one of my best friend's little sisters. So we grew up
Mhm.
together, went to the same high school. So one of her high school friends was there. And so the 4 of us were in a room together. So it was sort of like our little high school crew. And
Love it.
then the other room was her LA friends, and they were all so lovely, so fun. Everybody just, was game for all the things. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, good
Oh, I
girl
love
energy all
it.
weekend.
And it's so, like, energizing to be around a bunch of women like that, having a good time, eating good food, relaxing somewhere tropical. So I'm sure now you're home and you're, like, ready to get back into work. And don't you feel like your battery has been, like, fully recharged, like, you're good now
I
until your
do.
next trip?
'Cause that's how I can tell I'm definitely an extrovert because when I get to be in settings like that where I'm talking to everybody and they were all so sweet. They were all, like, such good hype girls too, because like, you put on your outfit and everybody would be like, "Oh my god, I love that outfit," or, "Oh,
Yes.
your hair," or, "Your
Yep.
makeup," or, "Your jewelry." Like, it was just, like, such fun energy, and yes, I'm definitely an extrovert because I walked away being like, "Okay, I got a ton of work to do this week, but I'm ready to do it." Like,
But they say
let's
that's also
go.
how you know you've been around good people. Cause I used to think I was and I didn't even know this was really even a thing. I thought I was like a introverted extrovert because I was a hairdresser, so obviously all I did was talk to people all day, right? But I would come home and I would be so drained sometimes. But I don't think that it's that
Mm.
I was an introvert. I think that it's just when you're around people sometimes who have hard things going on in their life and they're just dumping everything on you like most people do on their hairdressers. I think that takes a lot. But for you, you were around a good group of women and they all had good energy. So I feel like that's why you felt so energized and ready to go as soon as you came home because you were around good people. They say if you're not around the right people, they'll drain you, right?
Right,
So you were around good
right.
people and it was
Yeah.
an awesome time and you guys looked so beautiful.
Oh,
I've
thank
never
you.
been to Miami. I definitely want to go though.
I think you have to be in a vibe to party in Miami.
That's my problem is I party too hard. I need to learn to dial it down a bit. I actually have not had a drink since the holidays. I have not had a drink. I don't even think I've had a glass. No, 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 that's a lie. What am I talking about? My birthday's in January. I did too much for my
Well, I was
40th.
gonna say, I thought didn't you go to, like, a friend's birthday party? Did
I
you
did
drink there?
recently. I did not, but I did eat the food
Mhm,
because he is
mhm.
Mexican and oh my God, his wife is an incredible cook. And the food was, they rented a hall. He turned 42 and
Yeah.
the food was incredible. I ate a small amount because, I've been trying to be good. But man, no, we actually drank water. We did not have one drink at all. But what happened was I did too much for my 40th. I did way too much. I drank more tequila than any one person ever should. I love tequila. It's my favorite. Um,
Tequila's my favorite, followed by red wine,
okay.
and I dated this guy who was, like, a health nut too, and
Yeah.
he shared an article with me that because like, he was asking me, "What are your favorite things to drink?" And he's like, "Do you know those are the 2 healthiest things that you can drink?" I was like, "What?"
Really?
And he sent this article to me, and it says that if you're trying to be healthy, the number 1 drink you should have is tequila, and then the number 2 is red wine. Obviously, not like consuming a whole bottle, but like it's if you're going to have a drink, those are your healthiest options. And it even listed out the top tequilas. I should see if I can find the article that he sent me because
Yeah.
it listed like the top tequilas that are like the best ones for you.
Mhm.
So,
And I take my tequila so seriously, probably because my neighbor who's from Mexico, he has introduced us to like the most incredible tequila that he gets from his hometown. And he brings it straight from his hometown here because what they import into the US is
what's
not
the
the
name of
same.
it?
It's Tapatio. It's the
What is it?
Anejo Tapatio.
Tapatio.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's not expensive. I've had the most expensive tequilas, and I've had, unfortunately, some of the cheapest, but, and I've worked in the bar, so we tried a lot of the drinks and because you have to be able to recommend them to people and that kinda stuff, but Tapatio, the Anejo, is just so good. It's so smooth, it's like all you need is lime. You could just put a little lime juice in it. He serves it
Mm,
with squirt and ice, and you can't even taste it, but I just prefer not to have a lot of sugar because I get a headache the next day, but for
same.
my 40th, Brie, when I tell you, I was partying like I turned 21. I don't know what it was. We were just with friends and the drinks were just going down too smoothly. And let me tell you, I have not had a drink since. And I don't know if I'll ever have a drink again because I did entirely too much. I'm still
Oh my
detoxing from January.
I mean, yeah, I definitely this week I'm definitely detoxing. I definitely am detoxing. But I made sure I paced myself.
You're so good about that. I am not.
Yeah.
I need
See,
to
I think it's
learn
'cause
from
I'm a
you.
control freak, and I've said this to you even in college. I always know when I get home because I
Mhm.
wear contacts. It's like I have to take my contacts out, and I do not like to sleep in makeup. It's one of those
Oh,
things. I just can't do it. So I
don't
still, when I
ever.
come home, I'm taking out my contacts, doing my skincare routine.
Have to.
So, yeah, I mean, I still have a great time. I'm still really fun. I'm one of
Yeah.
those people truly, I do not need a drink and I would still at a club be standing up there dancing my butt off. Like I do not need a drop of alcohol to dance and have fun. But obviously it helps.
I, on the other hand, I'm more like on the Kristen Cavallari scale, and I have way too much fun, and I really need to learn how to not have so much fun. My husband also doesn't help because I know when I'm with him, I'm obviously safe, and he loves when I'm having a good time because just I think by nature and being a Capricorn and Enneagram 8, like I'm just more serious, more intense. So when I'm drinking, he's like, oh my God, it's like 20-year-old Ashley all over again. He gets so excited, but he also doesn't stop me. He encourages that bad behavior. Next thing I know, I've drank way too much tequila, and then 4 months later, I still haven't had a drink because
Okay.
I'm just like,
I
no.
need to add that to my list that I was sharing with you. Cause guys, this is kind of cheesy, but it's the mood I'm in because there's no one on the roster and
We really cleared the roster.
we really cleared the roster. But on the way home from this trip, I had just been listening to some things of like, pray to God for be very specific on what you want your husband to do and say. And, I'd heard what some of the other girls there, like husbands or boyfriends, were doing. I'm like, oh, that's cute. So I made a little list of the things that I would want my husband to do leading up to a trip, while I'm away on a trip, all those kind of things. And it was funny, I was
It's
sharing
so
with
you.
Ashley. It
It's so
what?
you. Your list is so you. I feel like people who don't know you, especially because you say you want like a provider man, they would think this list is like materialistic things or whatever people try to act like they think about you. But no, it is just the sweetest, most thoughtful things. But that's how you are. That's how I feel like you show love is by being super sweet and thoughtful. And when I saw your list, I'm like, oh, this is easy. We got this. We can find a man who does all of these things.
I
And
know you
I
expected it to be over the top, and then I read it to
did.
you, and you're like, "Bree, this is like bare minimum stuff." Should
Well,
I read
dang,
it?
I wasn't going to say all that and call you out, but I mean, I guess if you wanna be honest. Okay, guys, I literally said to her, I said, "Okay," she sends me the list. "Yes, you gotta read it, but before you do," I read the list and I was like, "Brie, are you freaking kidding me?" You totally called me out on this too, I did say this. I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? This is bare minimum. This is literally what he should be doing." And you just were like, "I know, but" and just like there was a
I
moment of
don't have
silence.
it. I don't have this.
But this is
So
sad that we have to tell men to be like this because this is how it should be. So go ahead, share the list because I think it's a really good one.
so I said, love is getting dropped off and picked up from the airport. Love is the surprise I miss you note that's tucked into your suitcase. Love is checking your flight times and sending a fly safe before you take off and enjoy your trip when you land text. Love is did you make it back to the hotel safely text each night. This is a lot of words of affirmation. Maybe I'm more words of affirmation than I realize now that I'm reading this.
I think so. I do because I mean, but if you've never had it, of course. And I why do I feel like love your what is it called? Words of affirmation? Or what is
Mhm.
the whole thing? Oh, your love languages.
Love
I feel like
languages.
that can change a little bit over
Yeah.
time. Like you might get this and then you're like, okay, now we have it. We're gonna switch it to
Right.
something else. So
Well, like
yes,
I said, I would take all the love languages.
you're
I'll just
all so
accept all
good.
the love at this point, but
Amen, sister. I agree.
okay, then the other ones were this maybe is where it gets a little more, like, bougie. Love is, "Let me send a round of drinks to the table, have fun." I think if a man did that to any man listening, if your girlfriend, wife is on a girls trip and you whether it's like send a bottle of champagne, send a round of shots, send a round of drinks, I think that is the sweetest gesture, and you're gonna have every single woman there being like, "I want my man to do this." Like, you will
Take
be the
notes.
most admired man. Okay. Anyways,
Take notes.
love is, do you need a mani-pedi or a new outfit before your trip? I did add this one in, I don't think I said this to you, but after you told me I wasn't being bougie enough, I was like, "Okay, this is love is, surprise, I upgraded your flight to first class."
Amen. That is what you need to be manifesting because everything
Mhm.
else is bare minimum. That's like saying open the door or this or that. Like your man should be taking you to the airport and sending you and your girlfriends a round of drinks like on your trip. Like if he's not doing that, what is he doing and what are we talking about? But in all
I don't
fairness,
know.
I will say a lot of clients did complain about these things. So I don't think you're alone in this list. And that's why I think it's important that you're sharing
A
it.
couple more. I said, "Love is I'm sending your favorite coffee and breakfast via room service."
Amazing, especially if you're hungover. Could you imagine, like, perfect timing?
This is definitely more of a husband because, you have to be living together, but love is I made sure the laundry's all done and the house is all cleaned, so when you can come home, all you have to do is tell me about the trip.
And what did I tell you? Do you remember what I told you?
What'd you tell me?
I literally said, "That is the bare minimum." That's exactly what he should be doing because 'cause you're probably gonna come home from your trip completely exhausted, and if he wants to have a good time now that you're home, the last thing you should be doing is cooking and cleaning and all of that. You should just come home and he's just ready to receive you,
Oh, I would definitely get right on that if I came home to a cleaned house with the laundry done, let me
right?
tell you. I would
Most
be,
men
like,
don't realize.
naked the second I get in the door.
It's like the best foreplay for women. It's like take all of the stress off our plate and you will
Yeah.
have whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to me. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And then I said, "Love is send me pictures, I miss your face." And then love is I hope you're having fun, but I also can't wait till you're home.
Yep. I
I
love it.
think a lot of this though, so I think there's 2 things. Maybe my love language isn't necessarily words of affirmation, it's just good communication. It's just like healthy, kind communication. 1. But then 2, like just the thoughtfulness of what is it that I could do to like help you have a little more fun, or what is it that I can do to help you like the mani-pedi or like buying you a new outfit for your trip. Like, yes, I get that's a material thing, but it's also like that's gonna make me feel not only so confident, but I'm gonna think of you because I'm gonna be like, "Oh, he picked this out for like," or "He got this for me," or like, "Oh, help me pick my nail color that I'm like wearing on the trip." It's just gonna make you be thought about. Like I this is just it. I think obviously men and women were aliens to each other, but sometimes I'm like, it is so simple to me, like what a man can do to just make her be obsessed with you. Like I would be obsessed if somebody did these things for me. I would be obsessed.
Yeah,
I
because
would be like, I never want to let him go.
you feel fully taken care of,
Yeah.
like, emotionally, physically, everything. It's And let me tell you, men, if you do these things, the way your woman will do anything for you, she will just be so happy. She will not even have eyes for other men. It's like other men don't even exist. She's only thinking about my man, my man, my man. That is
Right.
it. There is no other man. And I think this is a key point too that we're not really talking about. And I saw this with so many clients. Most women don't feel supported when they go on a girls' trip. Like men take like golf trips or trips with their friends all the time. And obviously, the woman's got it. She holds down the house, work, everything, kids, if you're at that point in your relationship, if you're married. But women, a lot of times, don't receive that same energy back. They're not supported when they go on a trip. Instead, the man is calling the whole time, like, where's the Tylenol? So and so's got a fever, or the dog pooped in the house. Where's the carpet cleaner? Like, sir, if we were not married, you would have to figure it out. Like, you survived how many years on this earth without me? Like, figure it out. So, if a man just makes it so that your life is so much easier, you don't have to think, you feel loved, you feel supported. Let me tell you the nasty things that woman will do for you. I'm not even kidding. She
The
will.
nasty
She
things.
will. And I hear this is another thing I wanted to mention too. Steven always says and I don't know if he wanted me to say the full thing, but I feel like he doesn't care. He says that one thing he hears men complain about is their wives don't send, like, the dirty text messages anymore. Once they're, like, married and they've been there for a long time. Okay,
Mhm.
fine, ladies, if that's literally all they want that we're not doing, just send the text messages, but he better be picking you up from the airport, dropping you off, sending you a round of drinks on your trip, like, he better support you just as much as you support him. It's like when there's that true partnership,
Mhm.
the relationship is so good. And then it's like everything just falls into place. The men are happy, the women are happy. So that's what I think. And that's why I feel like your list is not asking too much. Like any man could do those things on that list. I don't think you're asking a lot. You don't have to send a round of the most expensive liquor. Now, if you got it like that, please do. But if you can't, like a round of just drinks, like wine, whatever, perfect. It's just being thoughtful and knowing that like your man is thinking of you.
Mhm. You're thinking of me, you want me to have fun, you're letting me be a little carefree, and
Mhm.
then, of course, I'm just gonna miss you so much more.
Yeah, and you're gonna be thinking about him the entire time. Not gonna be
Mhm.
worried about anybody else down there because you just know that you have it so much better at home. It's so simple. I say women are complex, and they are because we have a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts, and we're each one of us are completely different. We don't all have the same needs. But when it all comes down to it, we just want to feel loved and supported and know that someone's thinking of us.
So, it was actually interesting because obviously we were on a bachelorette party, and I think she was even, like, wearing a veil, and at the table next to us was a group of guys on a bachelor party. My one friend was like, "Oh, well, she's divorced." And he goes, "Oh, I'm getting married in August. Do you have any advice?" And
Smart
he's like,
man.
he's like, "I just am curious, like, if you have any advice of, like, what would make it work or, like, what went wrong?" And I was like,
You should have said, "Sir." The fact that you're even asking that shows that you are so emotionally intelligent. Because most men would ask some single woman. You're asking a divorced woman,
Mhm.
like, her thoughts and perspective, like, he's already doing a good job. But what did you say to
He's
him?
a Benny. He's got Benny
Yeah.
vibes going on.
Yes,
We love a Benny vibe.
we
Um,
do.
but no, my response was, I said, "Don't ever stop dating her. Once a week, give her a reason to get dressed up, give
Mhm.
her a reason to, keep on taking care of herself." And I said, I said, "And buy her lingerie and make her known that she is the only one you're desiring." Because when
Yes.
a woman feels exactly as you just said, when a woman feels like you see me as beautiful, you only want me, we go more than the extra mile. We go 10,000 miles for you
Mhm.
because we know, like, that's the feeling we crave, is to be that we are desired. We're the only one you want. We feel beautiful. And when we feel that, oh, do we give it back? We give it
Mhm.
back tenfold what you're giving to us. And I feel like they both sat there, like the two guys who were getting married, because it was like the one was the bachelor and the one was another guy getting married. And they were like, "That's really good advice, and it's, like, not that hard." I was like, "Exactly." Like, it really is
Not.
not that hard.
It's
Like,
not.
and it benefits you. They're like, "Yeah, lingerie, that would definitely benefit me." I'm like, "Yeah, hello? Like, what are
Yes.
we doing here?"
Yes, and make sure you know her size, and even because I know we're gonna get somebody in the comments who's like, "Who can afford in this economy to go on a date once a week?" Listen, there is such thing as being creative. There's even a guy on TikTok, I love him. He creates, like, little food flights for his wife after the baby goes to bed. So they'll do, like, a date night where he will literally create from scratch, like, a steak flight or a mac and cheese flight, or he'll do like whatever her favorite food is or whatever she's craving, pasta flights. And he will go and buy all the ingredients and create like all these delicious meals. And then they'll sit and they'll have like a glass of wine or beer
Aw.
after the baby goes to sleep. Like whatever stage of life you're in or wherever you are, like financially, just be creative. Like you don't have to spend a lot of money. It's about being thoughtful and just taking the time to be together. That's really what it boils down to.
There's ChatGPT. There's Google. Just try. Just type stuff in, try. It should not be that hard for you to be romantic. There are so many resources for you to get ideas from on how to be romantic. But that does lead me to a question, because I'm wondering this, because I know, like, you
Right.
and Steven, like, what's the cutest date that you're like, "When Steven did this, it was so cute?" Like, let's give an example.
I'm trying to think like one date specifically. Okay, one date that really stands out in my mind. See, it's hard because he actually plans all of our dates. I've never planned a date
Not
ever.
one. You've never
Not
planned
one.
one date.
Not one. I feel like because he has held the bar so high that I don't know. Plus, he just does it.
See, I feel like I'm so good. I feel like I could be a date consultant for men. I think I could be like
Good.
that reverse hitch, that I could be the woman who helps men have really good relationships because I
Yes.
could tell them exactly what they need to do.
I have one in
That'd be
particular.
fun. Okay.
So for one of my birthdays, he surprised me. He took me to this really beautiful new like boutique hotel downtown. It was like a newer hotel and my birthday is in January. So I can't remember if we went like end of December or beginning of January, but they still had all of the Christmas decor up, which he knows I love. So we were able to look at all that. And we get to the room and he had bought me like a beautiful dress and heels and a purse. And he said, "We're going downstairs where we are going to have dinner." And I said,
He
"Okay."
got
So
you all the whole outfit?
oh, yeah, always. He's so good
Oh.
like that. He's so sweet. And then,
I've never once had anybody like I can't say it, like, I guess I had, like, a boyfriend in college, he would buy me clothes, but, like, never like that where it's like, "Here's your outfit that you're gonna wear out." Never.
okay, so we're manifesting that for you. Any men who could be listening to the podcast, who could be Bree's future husband, just buy her an outfit. It's not that hard. Do you think they think because you're so stylish, like they might be intimidated buying you something? Do you think
No,
that might be what it is?
I don't know, I feel like my dream, I'll just put it out there, I don't know if it's intimidating or not, but I just feel like I would want the, like, pretty woman treatment where it's just
Yes.
like,
Yes.
"I'm taking you shopping, babe, like, we're gonna get you the nicest outfits." That's what I want.
See, that's
Yeah.
why I feel like you're not asking a lot. That's, like, simple, you know, and it should be done. But, okay, so after we check into the hotel, we go upstairs, I do my hair and makeup, I get dressed. One of the restaurants inside of the hotel, it was supposed to be, like, this new, really good restaurant everyone wanted to try in Detroit, so he had made reservations, and he kept rushing me, and I'm like, "Why are you rushing me? You know I'm a hairstylist and makeup artist, like 2 hours minimum to get ready if it's gonna be full glam, right?"
Yeah.
We get downstairs and he surprised me. Our friends were there. They were sitting at the table. We had dinner. It was so sweet. The food was just okay. I feel like it could have been better, but
It was like a Carbone.
yeah, exactly. I feel like Detroit has a lot of good restaurants and it was just okay, but it was the vibes. The service was incredible. The company with our friends was incredible. So we ate, then we go upstairs and we're all in the hotel room. We're having drinks. It was amazing. Then after they leave, he gives me a present and it was like this incredible lingerie and some other things I'm not going to mention, but it was such a sweet night and just so thoughtful because my husband doesn't even celebrate birthdays. I mean, he's a Jehovah's Witness. He has no practice, ladies. And he just knows to do these things because I don't know, I guess just how he is. So that's why I feel like anybody could do this. I also
Well, I
say that
think it's more for the ladies out there, that's why you don't settle, because
you don't
a
settle.
man is going to figure it out when he loves you and when you're the one, and you just have to hold out for the one that treats you that way.
Yeah.
You just have to hold out and wait for it,
Yeah.
or you're just constantly gonna feel disappointed,
Yes.
right?
And when we talk about religions, because like obviously in his religion, they don't celebrate birthdays. And so that's why I couldn't even remember if we went in December or January. He took me for a night out, but it was near my birthday. So you know me being delusional in my head. I'm like, oh, it's my birthday party. But he doesn't celebrate birthdays, but I just make it. It was my birthday. And all my
Yeah.
friends were there. So I just feel like it was sweet. But tell me yours. What is like the sweetest date you've ever been on?
Oh gosh.
Or it could be the worst. Either one.
I mean, I've shared some pretty awful ones. No, I think when I just feel like it's more like cute and unique, because some of the best dates I've been on have been almost the more traditional, but it's because of the person and the vibe and how they treated me. A
Mhm.
traditional like dinner kind of date. But I will never forget. This was so cute. It was in college. And I just again, I've never had any other guy do this. I thought it was the funnest thing. He said, "I want you to wear really comfy clothes that you're not afraid of getting dirty." So I
Oh,
was
I
like,
love that.
"Okay."
Okay.
I was like, "What are we doing?" Like, comfy clothes,
Right.
but I'm not afraid to get dirty. And so I show up at it was in his dorm. He did this in his dorm. It was so cute.
So sweet.
He has music playing, there's candles lit, and there's all these Dollar Tree tablecloths spread all across the floor. And on different plates, there's different colored paint, and there was this massive canvas in the middle. And he said, "We're not using brushes, but you have to, like, use your body to
Love
paint
it.
something on the canvas." So, like, him and I were, like, putting the paint on each other and then, like, putting stuff on the canvas, and it was really cute. Because then eventually, like, we moved into an apartment and he hung it in his apartment.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, if a man did that, and now I feel like I'm gonna plan my first date with Steven, I'm about to steal that idea
It
because I
was
feel like
so
that would make
cute.
incredible art for either in your home or your bedroom.
I
Yeah,
know.
that actually I'm stealing that, Brie. I hope
It was
Steven doesn't
really
listen to
cute.
this episode. No, because all of his friends do, so I know they're gonna be like, "Ashley is not special. She heard that from Brie."
That one, he had the best dates.
Oh,
There was
good.
another I'll never forget this. This is one of the cutest things. So, we watched, A Walk to Remember, which is interesting because that's actually where I got Landon's name from. But
Brie,
you know
you
how
never told me that. That's one of my favorite movies from when
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
'cause
younger.
I grew up thinking Shane West was so hot because of that movie.
See, I just thought their love story was oh my god, I used to cry
Mhm.
every time I would watch
I
that
know.
movie.
I know. Well, I read the book too. I read the book first
Okay.
because I love Nicholas Sparks novels.
Yes.
Gigi always gets me the latest Nicholas Sparks novel. It's like our thing.
Aw, we
So
love Gigi. She's so sweet.
we love Gigi. But anyways, we watched A Walk to Remember, and in the movie, she tells him her bucket list, the list of things she wants to do, because I don't think he knows it at the time that she's sick, but she obviously has this list of things she wants to
Yeah.
do because she knows she's sick. So he, in watching the movie, was like, "Let's make a bucket list." And so he wrote a list of things he wanted to do. I wrote a list of things I wanted to do. And one of the things I'd written on the list was I wanted to stomp grapes and make wine.
Okay. That sounds
Um,
so fun.
I know, because 'cause I'd seen it. There was a Newlywed episodes where Nick and Jessica went to Napa,
Mhm.
and that's what they did in Napa is, like, they got in the thing and, like, stomped the grapes to make wine.
Pause right there. Do you remember when we were younger watching Nick and Jessica? And I was
Yeah.
just so fascinated because they were so young, getting married. And looking back on it now as an adult, that man was so mean to her and did not deserve her at all. Like, it's painful to watch now. But when you were younger, did you even notice like how
No,
messed
when
up
I
it
was younger, I
was?
thought they were the perfect couple.
Like, "Oh, yeah, this
Yeah.
is normal," and then you grow up and you're like, "This man was toxic." He was, like, verbally abusive, in my opinion, to her, and the way he treated her, like, always making her feel like she's dumb or saying stupid things. Anyways, yeah, Nick and Jessica, I used to love that show, though. I loved it.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
She's
She's
so
so beautiful.
beautiful,
I love Jessica Simpson.
and I'm glad
My friend said it to me today because 'cause I've always been saying that I want her blonde hair color from during Newlyweds, and she said, at the bachelorette party, she's like, "I feel like you finally have the Jessica Simpson blonde." I was like, "You're
nailed it,
right, I do." Like,
nailed it.
nailed
Compliments to
it.
your hairdresser.
Ugh, 'cause it's a kind of early 2000s blonde. I mean, a lot of that style is coming back, the
Oh,
Y2K
yeah.
look,
Oh, yeah.
but she had more definitely right now it's more of like a golden blonde, than
Mhm.
I think the ashy platinum has been more the vibe before this, but
Yeah.
anyways, we always go off on, like, hair color with you and
We
I.
do.
Anyways, we make the bucket list. I said stomping grapes because 'cause I'd seen it on Newlyweds. And I showed up at his house the one day, and this is I shouldn't say his house, it's his mom's house. And, we were in college, so his mom, sister, brother, and he's like, "Okay, I have a surprise for you down in the basement." And I'm like, "Okay," which this was his normal. He always had like cute little surprises. And he's like, "Well, take off your shoes, like you have to be barefoot." I'm like, "All right." I go down there. He has a freaking like I don't know if it was a pool or like some kind of just like really big bucket. And his mom
So
said
sweet.
after this is over, he went to like 5 different grocery stores and bought all the grapes to fill this up. And he made the entire family the night before. She's like, "Yeah, when we were watching a movie, He made us pick all the grapes off the stems because he said, "I don't want any stems to hurt her feet."
God. And he did all of this in college on a budget. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When people try to act like they don't have the money, just get creative. I mean, obviously, grapes in this economy probably couldn't fill a pool, wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah, I think that was back in, like, 2008, like, prices were a little different for grapes, I guess, like
But still, it's like the thought you could do it on a smaller scale, like a little I don't
I
know. You could
know.
figure it out, but he just listened. Don't you feel like that's what it boiled down to? He listened, and he knew what was important to you and what you wanted, and he took an interest in the things that you liked, and
Yeah.
that's so sweet. We need to manifest, like, the grown-up version of that for you. That's what we're gonna manifest. And I'm looking up old pictures of Jessica Simpson, and you
Mhm.
totally have her blonde because it's like that beautiful it's bright golden blonde,
Yeah.
and it's a hard look to achieve because sometimes people think bright as white, but you can actually be bright and be honey or golden, and yeah, you definitely have that color, it's so pretty. Man, the 2000s were such a time. Isn't it crazy to think it's been, like, 25 years? Like, it just makes me feel so old. I feel like 2003 was not that long ago. To me, it feels like it should have been 10 years ago, not so long.
That it was a quarter century ago, that actually is wild when you think about it.
It
All the
is.
Y2K stuff was a quarter century ago.
And my daughter yells at me every day. She's like, "Mom, why didn't you save all of your clothes?" And I
Ugh,
go, "Because I just did not think that you would. I thought that we would. I know that fashion like rotates and it always goes backwards, but I just thought that they would have came up with something better. I didn't think that all of that would come back. Because even like okay, I you will know what I'm talking about because you loved Britney too and all of
yeah.
them, Christina. Low-rise jeans nowadays is not low rise when
No.
we were
Low rise,
younger.
we had, like, half like, I don't know
3
how
inches.
back in high school when we weren't, like, old enough to be getting Brazilians yet, that we were wearing those jeans, because I would not be caught dead wearing those jeans without a Brazilian.
Right. But I even started watching because I love my walking pad, and so I, like, go through shows like crazy. Because if I'm not talking to you, which you've been busy working, I don't appreciate that, by the way, you trying to make a living for your family. Because I need someone to talk to when I'm on my walking pad, and I need you to debrief with me, but no, I'm just kidding, I love when you work. But I've been getting finding more shows, so I started watching Desperate Housewives again. Do you remember that
Okay.
show?
So I never watched it, but people have told me that I don't know which character it is, but I've gotten a lot of times like, "Oh, you're like this person on Desperate Housewives," but I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, I feel like all of the characters are problems that women have in real life, but it's like the
Mhm.
exaggerated version, right? So there's this girl, Brie. She's like the Martha Stewart on the show. She does everything to perfection, and her husband is like annoyed that she does everything to perfection. He wants her to be like a little more real and, like, messy or something. I'm like, "This man's insane." He's complaining that she's too perfect, like, what is wrong with him? But watching, I think her name's Gabriella, one of the characters, which was is played by Eva Longoria, her low-waisted jeans and so many of the women on the show remind me of the ones that we wore. Brie, it was, like, 3 inches from, like, the bottom of your zipper to, like, the top. Like, it was truly low now they're, like, more mid-rise, the
Yeah,
low-waisted jeans. I'm
yeah,
like, it was just such a toxic time for women's bodies too, because everybody on the show was so thin, like
yeah,
painfully thin, but you had to be to fit into jeans like that. I mean,
yeah.
even for like your butt could only be maybe 6 inches long. Like it was
Well,
wild.
I could not even wear the majority of jeans from Abercrombie& and
Oh yeah.
Hollister because my butt was and I don't even have, like, that big of a butt, but, like, I do have a booty. I would have plumbers, cleavage, crack in all the jeans. I remember I used to have to go, and at the time, Lo had a brand of jeans. I would actually buy Lo's jeans because however they were cut, it was like they were higher rise in the back, but still low rise up front.
Yes.
And I remember I would wear Lo jeans because I
Yeah.
could not wear the Abercrombie& and Hollister. Majority of them, I could not wear. I was like, "They're
Hmm.
not made for my butt."
Yeah.
Like
I wore baby fat and all of that. I don't know if I wore the JLo jeans, but that was a turn where they started realizing like, okay, all women love the low cut jeans, but some of us have booties, some of us have hips. So then that's where I
Mhm.
feel like fashion started to change. And then you had like baby fat and you had other brands coming out, Bell, or what was that? Apple bottom jeans. Do you remember apple bottom jeans, like the song? That brand
Mhm.
came out, and that was more for people with like a booty, but like you said, it was still low rise in the front. High school, I think I was like an 8 or a 10 at Abercrombie, which I'm pretty sure is now like a size 0 or 3. It was so toxic. Like their sizing was actually for children. Because I even found a pair of jeans that I wore on mine and Steven's honeymoon. And I swear to you, Brie, like I think it could fit a toddler. Like a toddler. I'm like, who was wearing these? But we did. It was just
Mhm.
normal.
It was
It
a
was such
time.
a time.
It was a time. But that is an interesting point because I got this Abercrombie my mom, I, like, saved it at her house, I guess. It was my favorite Abercrombie top. It's so cute. It's long sleeves, pink, but it's off the shoulder because I used to
Yep.
love, like I don't know why, like, especially in high school, like, I loved showing this off, so it was, like, an off the
Yeah.
shoulder, long sleeve, pink sweatshirt that says, of course, says Abercrombie, had to say it because you couldn't get anything that like didn't actually say it on the shirt
You
to let
had
everybody
to.
know that it was from Abercrombie. But then the waist, kind of like how you were saying, like it made sure it like cinched at the waist so that when you wore your low rise jeans, you would see the little gap of like, your belly and the hips.
Yep.
And like a
Yep.
it's so cute, and my mom brought it over, and she's like, "Do you want me to get rid of this? Do you wanna keep it?" Presley wears it, and she's about to turn 8 years old. I'm like, "I wore this as a senior in high school, and it, like, fits my small." Like, Presley is a very small 7 going on 8-year-old
Yep.
girl. That's just how tiny everything was. Like, we literally wore
Crazy.
clothes that were made for children.
No,
Made for children.
I'm so glad that you shared that because Bianca wears do you remember when pink was really popular? Like, everybody wore everything from Victoria's
Yes.
Secret pink. She
Oh my
wears
god, the fold I miss the fold over yoga pants. Those are my
yes,
college wardrobe, and they were so comfortable.
essentials. Essentials.
And they don't make them in the same material because
No,
back then, I feel like that material was so good, it would, like, suck you in a little bit, like, I
it
feel
was
like
like
it sucked in
compression.
your thighs, it really held
Yeah,
up your butt, and then you had the little cute folds over, and there
yep.
would be rhinestones, like, saying pink on the
Everyone
back
looked
of it,
snatched in those leggings. It was
and now
compression before they did compression, I feel
yes,
like.
and
Yeah.
now they don't make them like that
No,
anymore.
they're a loose cotton and it shows everything. And it's like,
Mhm.
why would you do that to women? Like we will buy and spend our life savings on any pair of pants that don't make us look like we have cellulite or our butts are perky, anything like that. So
Yeah.
it must be a man designing it. It has to be. No woman would ever do that. But Bianca wears all of my old, like extra, extra small, like pink clothes that I used to have. She's 10. They fit her
Yeah.
perfectly now. And I'm just like, she's like, Mom, how did you ever wear this? I have to pull up pictures because they don't believe me. They're like, how are you wearing children's clothes? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm 4'11, so that kind of helps being short. But yeah, that's just what we did. I don't know how women survived that time because I kind of felt that way. Like when I would see 90s fashion, I'm like, how did people wear all of the like cropped and all that? Now I realize if you just go bigger, it'll cover more, so it'll be a little bit longer. But yeah, like
Mhm.
I don't know how, women's bodies survived the early 2000s with the 3-inch low waist jeans.
It was such a difficult time body image-wise and
Oh
body
yeah.
confidence-wise,
I didn't know
right?
one woman who loved her body or
No,
girl.
no.
And we felt so big and we were so tiny. Did remember when they called Jessica Simpson fat?
I remember
It was
seeing
so
that
bad.
news article, and she was wearing, like, the cutest high-rise mom jeans. That's what they call them, mom jeans, but they were the cutest, like, high-rise, high-waisted high-rise, high-waisted jeans,
Yeah.
and I saw her in concert because she was opening for Rascal Flatts. It's when she'd just come out with her country album.
Love.
And I was in college, and I remember I went to the concert, and I was, like, thinking, I'm like, "Oh, she's gonna come out, and, like, she's gonna have gained weight." She looked like the tiniest, little, petite, cute, and I was like, "Did they Photoshop those pictures to, like, make her look bigger? Because this woman looks amazing."
They
Like,
did her
so
so
tiny.
dirty.
They
I
did her
know.
so
I feel
dirty.
like they just took it from a weird angle, maybe like the paparazzi from like beneath off to the side because and even in the pictures, you look at the pictures now and she looks great. But I remember at the time they were trying to act like she was so disgusting, so huge, and It was very disturbing how they used to treat women's bodies, and I mean, women still get it. I mean, I feel like the tabloids have really died down a lot since social media has taken over, but have you been on the side of TikTok, like Skinny Talk?
What is skinny talk? Because clearly I don't know, and I'm figuring there's gonna be other people maybe listening like me who are like, "What's skinny talk? What's she
I
talking
mean,
about?"
it started out just normal things, like, they would say, "Get out and walk every day, make sure you're getting your 10,000 steps in," which that's great advice. Any doctor
Okay.
will tell you, bare minimum, you should be walking just for, like, your heart health and just for, like, your joints and everything. At any age, you should just really try to walk. And so I feel like it was a lot of, like, walking and eating tips. I feel like food has changed so much over the past, like, 10, 15 years. Fitness tips, they would talk about if you don't like vegetables, try to consume more like fruits and fats, like it's satisfying and just replacing and swapping out certain foods. But now it's like they want you to eat such small portions and it's getting very like eating disorder like coded. And that I don't like. It feels really icky because I personally, I don't know about you, but I've had very close friends who have struggled with eating disorders. And it's just, such a sensitive subject, and even when they are fully healed and have done therapy, they have triggers that are, like, really intense.
Oh, see, I don't like that, and especially with just the age demographic of TikTok, because I feel like we're on the older side of TikTok. So
Mhm.
when I'm thinking about the teenage and 20-somethings consuming things like that, I don't like that. That feels very unhealthy to me.
Especially when you're going through puberty and you can't really control your body and you need to eat. You need to eat for your hormones, you're growing, and obviously you need to eat healthy, but like I said,
Mhm.
it started out healthy tips and it's just taken a turn. All right, Bree, there is one thing that I absolutely love on TikTok, and it's the trend. I feel like it's been going on for a little over a year now where women are sharing hygiene tips, but they're wording it in the way like hygiene tips your mother never taught you, or hygiene tips that your mom should have taught you. So it's like big sister advice. And I love watching it because, as a cosmetologist, like I was licensed to do hair, skin, and nails. So I've done the aesthetic side, I've done the hair side. And so when these young girls are posting tips, like I never thought about it. It's really something that you don't really sit down and have a conversation with your mom how to properly handle, going through puberty and bathing properly, shaving properly, all of the like female hygiene tips. Like, did you ever have
Yes.
that with your mom?
Okay, so this is why you are the queen of this. You should honestly on TikTok just be giving all these tips because I feel like the book I had, I remember it was an American Girl book called The Care and Keeping of You.
We did not have those, but
I mean,
that I've heard about it.
it was from American Girl, like,
Yeah.
who made the books and the dolls, but it was called The Care and Keeping of You,
Mhm.
and that's what it talked about. It talked about, okay, when you go through puberty, like, your armpits are gonna stink, you need to wear deodorant, you need to it was all these hygiene tips, right? But I feel like now
Love it.
every single time when you talk about this, I'm like, "Ashley, you're the queen of this, like, you are the best, like, you not only are the expert, literally trained in all of it, but you know all these things. Like, when I get a spray tan, I call you for the tips. When I'm going to get a Brazilian, you give me the tips. I'm always like, "Wait,
Yes.
what should I do before this treatment? Help me." You're so good at all of this.
Thank
So,
you. I
yes.
loved it.
So, okay,
And
so this is gonna be this part of the podcast is like Ashley's big sister advice of all the things that we wish our moms would have taught us. I mean, my mom taught me a lot of good stuff. Like, I feel like I definitely have tips. But like I said, I was staying this weekend in a hotel with 3 other women who I was still at, 37 years old picking up fun tips or products that they were using. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, tell me more.
always learning about new products. I feel like you teach me about new products all the time. I feel like I still love hearing people's tips because maybe it's products I myself never used or never tried. Plus, I feel like with your parents, it's not really a sit down conversation. It might be a wonderful book like what you shared, but for me, it's like my girls just watch what I'm doing. And I feel like they're picking up tips just based off of that. Because even when I told Aubrey, I'm like, I really want to share hygiene tips. Like people ask me all the time, like, please share your hygiene tips. It's one of my most requested videos on YouTube, and I always like shy away from it because I feel like I want to focus on decor and all of that. Like, I want to leave the cosmetology side behind, but clearly, this is what people want. So, we're giving
Oh,
it to
give
today
the
on the
people what
podcast.
they want. If
It's
the
what they
podcast
want.
people want this, I want this.
Yes.
So, And I feel like this is one of the questions I get all the time. Anytime I show in a day in the life or what I eat in a day and they show my supplements, people are always like, what's that probiotic you're taking? Or like, what are those Lemmy
Yes.
Purr gummies that you're taking? Why are you taking those? What are they for? And you're the one who turned me on to this. So I feel like, can we start with that? Like,
Okay,
what
gummies or what? What do you wanna start with?
I think we should start with just in general, like women's vaginal health is never
Okay.
talked about. And I feel like one of the biggest fears you have as a woman, let's say like the first time you're getting intimate with your partner, do I smell down there?
Mhm.
And I feel like you have all the tips to be like, here's how to make sure you are smelling like a rose.
Yes. Okay, so what I would start with is definitely cleansing because I feel like
Okay.
cleansing is the most important. And I actually have, you can't see, but off camera, I have a ton of products I want to share. Okay, here they
Oh,
are.
show and tell. We like a show and tell.
Show and tell. We're going to talk about full hygiene, but what I want to start with is body. And for vaginal health, I think the worst thing you can do is put those scented body washes down there. Your feminine, like pH balance, is so sensitive, and you have to be so careful not to throw it off that you never want to like douche or use anything like that. You just want to make sure you're cleansing the outside properly, and you really don't even want to cleanse like deep inside. Yes, you want to get into all the nooks and crannies. Some people like to use a washcloth. I think that's really important. And honestly, I'm going to say the word bacteria so many times. You guys are probably going to get sick of hearing it, but that's like the professional side. If you are using a good soap because you're noticing it smells down there, I definitely recommend double cleansing. I love the Aveeno Skin Relief. This is unscented, and you can also use like vaginal washes if you prefer, but definitely no scent. You don't want to put any scents down there. Yes.
Clarifying
What?
question. So you're saying don't clean on the inside. I think for a woman watching, do you mean like don't open up your lips whatsoever? Or are you
No,
saying
no,
don't
you
go
can't.
up into your vaginal canal with soap?
Yeah, don't go in your vaginal canal with soap because if you do, it can definitely throw it off. You don't want to get an infection. You don't want it to get overly dried out. But yes, so as far as your lips and everything, you want to open all of that up. I like to just use my hands because my skin is really sensitive. If I use a washcloth, it can get really irritated down there. Some people like to use an African net sponge. I recommend that on your inner thighs that's nearest to your vagina and also on your butt. You want to use a really good washcloth or a good sponge because a lot of bacteria lives in that area, and that's where you're going to get a lot of smells. But if you use a body wash like this, you can use it down there, and as long as you don't get it inside, you will feel so fresh, so clean because it'll smell like nothing. Nothing at all. Now,
I have the funniest story in the world.
what?
Okay.
Tell me.
So this is so funny. So, because obviously I think this goes for boys too. I know we're talking about women's health, but my kids, my older 2 take showers. Well, Hayden has started to be like, "I don't wanna take a bath anymore. I wanna take a shower," like the older 2, but I still have to give him direction, in the shower.
Yes.
And so the one day, he has this little, like, washcloth, spongy, like, loofah not this washcloth, loofah in there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "Okay, we gotta get soap on it." And I was like, "And make sure you get in your butt crack because nobody wants a crusty butt crack." And he looks at me and he goes, "You're a crusty butt crack." And I was like,
Such a
"Excuse
hated
me?
response.
You're a crusty butt crack."
You're like, "Thank you, Hayden. Thank you. The mother who gave birth to you, who gave you life. Thank you for calling me a crusty butt crack." That is such a boy mom experience. I swear, only a boy would think to say something that hilarious. He's so unserious. You can't even get mad at him.
He's the biggest goofball, but I'm always just like, okay, at 4, the sense of humor that he has, he's gonna be a
Incredible.
stand-up comedian or something. He's gonna be something where he's telling jokes
Yeah,
because he just delivers these punchlines that I'm like, "Where do you get this comedic timing from?"
that's exactly it. It's
Where do you
being
get
the
it
3rd
from?
child. If he wants to be seen, if he wants to get attention, he's gotta know. He's gotta know what to do. Play his cards.
"You're a crusty butt crack." I'm like, "Okay."
But he's not wrong. That's one of the things I was gonna say, like, it's not just like, the number one tip with your vaginal health is making sure you cleanse properly. You're not using anything scented, but it goes so much further than that. Like, how many people don't wash their ass? Like, that simple. Like, don't wash their ass. It's disgusting. So he's not wrong, Hayden. And that is an area like you should be using a washcloth. You should be washing down there. And please don't let it be the same washcloth that you're using to wash your face. And you need to you can't, please don't. And you have to make sure you get a big pa What? What
All
happened?
the things I just lose it. I
What?
lose it when I'm
What?
like, that someone would do that. That someone would literally wipe I can't.
Okay, but
Wipe
listen,
their
we're
face
not
with the
shaming
same cloth that
anybody.
was in their butt crack, in their
We're
crusty butt crack.
we're not shaming anybody because if you're younger listening to this, which I don't think we have a younger audience, but just in case this ends up getting pushed out to somebody younger, if nobody taught you this, that is okay. And it is not your fault. And we are all learning. And we are your big sister today. We are going to teach you, but you need to wash your butt crack, just like Hayden
Wash your
said. No
butt
crusty
crack,
butt crack.
and I that's why I asked the clarifying question because I genuinely think that some women, because 'cause we're never taught in school the true names of all of our parts. You're not taught
True.
that your vagina is the hole, the labia is the lips on the outside.
Mhm.
And so I think when people hear, "Don't wash your vagina because it could mess up your pH balance," they're not going inside of their labia lips and actually cleaning it. And that's why
Mhm.
I asked the clarifying question because I
Yes.
really do think that there's someone who are like, "Well, this whole area is my vagina, so I'm not gonna."
Got it.
Do you know
Nope,
what I'm
you have
saying?
yes, you have to wash around and in between the labia because there's going to be a lot of fluids and bacteria, and if you don't shave and you have a lot of hair, in general, that is where bacteria is going to breed. That's where you're gonna get smells. So, I'm so glad that you clarified that, Bree, because, oh my gosh, to think, like, some women could really misunderstand and they're not washing down there at all, and then they're probably thinking, like, it's self-cleaning. People always say, "Oh, it's self-cleaning." In the vaginal canal, yes, but not your labia. That's not self-cleaning. So please find a good soap. Do not use anything scented. It will be the biggest mistake of your life. Oh my gosh. If you're anything like me, I'm so sensitive. It will just mess me up forever. Use something unscented, something like this. They also have bars or vaginal washes,
Yeah.
but no douche. I don't recommend that.
It is just such a sensitive area, and I remember even when I was little, when I would take bubble baths and,
Yes.
play with all those different, like, colored drops. Like, do you remember how there used to be, like,
Mhm.
those crayon soaps you would write with too?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like when all of that stuff even was in the water, I'm pretty sure it's like UTIs
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
stuff is just it messes with you.
It
So, yeah,
does.
you have to use, like you're saying, sensitive, unscented soaps for that area. Yes, it's so sensitive, so
And if you use scented soaps, it's actually not going to probably wash away the bacteria. So then you're going to smell and it's going to smell bad. And then also whatever scent you put on top of it. So just don't do that. Although I do have one tip I wanted to mention. If you accidentally get soap in the vaginal canal and it throws off your pH balance and it starts to get really dry and irritated in there, one of the things I love is this Foria. Mine is so loved. The like writing is starting to come off. But this is actually an intimacy awaken arousal oil. So it's not intended for this, but what I love about this is it's all natural, like coconut oil and other organic certified ingredients. And it's not like a lube where it's slippery and feels gross. It just absorbs lightly into the skin, almost like a facial oil would. And it just makes you moisturize and it feels so nice and it's so soothing. And they
and it's
actually
called Foria?
Foria, yep,
Foria,
and it's
okay,
the
and it's a little
intimacy.
dropper or a
Yep,
spray? What is that?
it's a dropper.
Okay.
So, this is how you can just drop it on your fingers and you can, insert it vaginally. Now, if you don't wanna do that, let's say you have long nails, you don't wanna hurt yourself, they have the spray bottle. This is my favorite. I just use a little spray.
You just made me think
What?
of a
What?
question a guy asked me one time. This is so
What?
about the nails. So I was at a bar and my middle fingernail, it must have popped off, like I had on like press-ons, okay?
Okay.
And the guy is like, "Is there a reason there's a fingernail on that nail?" Excuse me, sir?
It's hilarious he asked you that, though. Did you know that's exactly what he was implying?
Oh, obviously, but it just made me think, like, is this all that you men think about?
That's it.
Is this all that men
That's
think
it,
about?
Bree. That's all they think about.
Like, you see I'm missing a fingernail, and your thought isn't like, "Oh,
That's it.
maybe she was cleaning," or maybe she, you know, was like, "Oh, is that fingernail off because 'cause you're using it for something?" I'm like,
My second tip, and I actually never I've seen so many videos. I've never seen anybody recommend this. When I get out of the shower, you dry down there, is you wanna make sure you dry everything completely. So for some
"Okay."
people, they like to use a fan. I personally don't feel like a towel is enough. Plus, my skin is sensitive down there. If I start wiping and rubbing, it can get irritated. So I like to pat dry, and then you can use a fan like this. I prefer a blow dryer, just caution. Make sure it's on medium to low heat. You don't wanna burn yourself down there. The skin is very sensitive. But for me, I just don't have the
You just gave me, like, the even just the thought of that, I'm like, "Oof,
painful,
man,
painful.
hot dang."
Yes.
Okay.
It would be awful. So that's why I said some people, if you have patience, it's gonna take a little longer to dry because
Mhm.
cool air always takes longer to dry than warm air does.
And this is, like, your bum and your vagina, like,
All of it. You
we're
don't want
fanning
any
it all out.
moisture down there.
Like,
You're
do you, like,
fanning it
open your
all out.
legs and fan it
Open
out?
it all up.
Okay.
Open it
Spread
all up.
eagle, fan it all out.
Yeah, you don't want any moisture because always remember where there is moisture. Now, oils and lotions are different, but I'm talking about water. Where there's water and sweat is where bacteria can breed. So, bacteria is where you get your smells. So, if you have water stuck in between like the fold between like your leg and your vagina or where your labia is, eventually that's going to get sweaty, it's moist, it's going to start to smell. So for me to smell clean like all day, especially if you're
Mhm.
going to gym or something where you're squatting and all of that, you just want to make sure you're really dry.
You guys, this is why Ashley's husband is like, "You're the best smelling woman I've ever met," because she's literally fanning it all like, I'm learning so many new things. This is great.
But you guys
I'm
know that,
loving
like,
this.
I wasn't just born knowing all of these things. Do you know when I got married young, I had a doctor's telling me? I mean, I've just been so blessed to have so many people around me making sure my marriage was successful. And I even remember I had one client, she was the best. I was like, "What was your tip?" Kind of like those guys when you were in Miami. She's been married for a long time, happily. I'm like, "Give me a good tip." You know what her tip was?
Hmm,
Shower every night before you get in bed. She's like, "And smell delicious." And I'm like
eh,
I was young, and I'm like, "What do you mean shower?" Like, I'm a hairdresser, every time I come home, of course I shower before I go to bed. She's like, "No, go to bed just smelling incredible." And it works. They're, like, obsessed with you.
mm.
Do you, like, dry, just, like, pat dry and then kinda air dry? Like, what do you do when you're done, like, you get out of the shower?
Well, now I'm getting one of those fans, and I'm gonna be fanning all the lady bits, and yeah, we're gonna make sure it is fan dried from now
Yes.
on.
And you
I
said
meant to
you
do,
got
like, a updated routine video and be like
you imagine you show up with a fan, like, "Okay, ladies, we just got a shower, it's time to dry." But not just down there. I also do, vagina, your butt. I also do if you have big boobs, under your
oh,
boobs.
yeah, I gotta get under the girls.
Yeah. Your armpits? Some people keep
Yeah,
all that stuff wet. No, get every nook and cranny, get it
yeah,
dry. Now, when you first get out of the shower, you wanna make sure you moisturize because that's going your pores are open. You wanna lock that moisturizer in. So you're definitely gonna wanna make sure you moisturize, but then dry as soon as you're
yeah.
done. Don't get dressed, don't put underwear on, don't anything.
Okay, I
Now
have a question for you.
yes.
Because I've been loving the smell of this. It is, to me, my favorite deodorant I've ever used,
Okay,
but it says for pits, privates, and beyond. It's whole body deodorant. It's a spray. It's clear, like you don't see it. It doesn't leave like a weird powdery thing. It's the
love it.
soft powder smell though. It smells so good. It says 72-hour odor control. I'm obsessed with this stuff.
I need to try that. I've never tried
Try
it.
it.
It
Because I
looks
want to
amazing.
see, because I know it was like designed by a gynecologist.
Okay.
So, she kind of it says, yeah, OBGYN developed cruelty-free, residue-free, I'm trying to see what else it says on here. I don't know. I love this stuff. I'm gonna be like, it
And that
smells
powder
so good.
set,
Like, honestly, it smells really good. Like, it's like
men
how I
love
want
that
my
powder.
bathroom to smell. It smells so
Okay,
good.
and you can put it on your armpits, you can put it vaginally, you can put it on
Yeah.
your butt, everywhere.
It's privates and beyond, and I know, like, literally, they say it's, like, for your, like, under your boobs, any
Yes.
cracks, crevices, like where you're saying where
Oh,
you
I'm
get, like,
getting
that
that.
moisture. Yeah.
I'm getting that. See, this is
Feet,
what I'm talking about.
spray your feet.
It's why it's important to talk to other women, cause see how everyone uses different products?
Yeah, and we all like, we learn, we pick up these different
Yeah.
tips.
Before we leave, like, talking about vaginal health, do you prefer to shave or wax? Like, on a
Okay.
day-to-day basis?
I like a Brazilian. I
Yep.
love going to
Oh, yeah.
get Brazilians. I
Mhm,
love my Brazilian wax. I love how I feel. I then
mhm.
like this weekend in Miami, anytime I put on a bathing suit, I wasn't self-conscious
No.
at all of worried of like,
Yes.
oh, you know what I mean? If it slips a little bit, are you gonna see some hair? Like, don't have to worry about it. Don't
I
have to.
love it.
I love how smooth it feels. I love, like you said, I feel like so clean after I get a
Clean, light on your
Brazilian.
feet, there's no hair. I'm telling you, it's the best feeling. I
It's so
agree.
good. I love a Brazilian.
Mhm.
But yeah, but I've had certain guys be like, "Give me a little landing strip," or like, "I want a little
Yeah.
triangle." And I'm like, "Why?
You
Why?"
remember vaginal, bedazzling? Do you remember when that was a
What?
trend? You don't
No,
remember that?
no.
Oh my gosh, yes, they were doing vaginal, like, bedazzling. You have to Google it. It was really a trend, maybe 10, 15 years ago. People were going to, like, spas and getting, like, vaginal bedazzling.
When okay, but like what I know about like even like when I'd put like little gems, because I remember it was a thing when we were kids, there would be like little Swarovski crystal gem tattoos you would put on.
Yes. Yes.
They would just fall right off while you're having sex. Like, what would the point be?
I don't know. I'm about to Google it because I remember, we didn't offer it at the salon that I worked at.
It seems like a waste.
They had to have used some type of skin safe. Yeah, they decorated the area with rhinestones, crystals, or other sparkly adornments. Vajazzle is what it was called. It was really a thing 10 years
I mean,
ago.
it would
See?
probably be cute if you were taking, like, that kinda, like, boudoir pictures, like, I could feel like that would be a vibe, but
Yes.
to actually have during sex, I feel like they would just fall off.
And I feel like that would be dangerous. What if one actually went
Got stuck
inside
up your
or went
vagina.
into a man's penis? Because, I mean, if they're small enough, it could go inside of the hole as well. Oh, it just sounds like a medical nightmare if you ask
It's
me.
don't no to the vajazzle, dazzle,
Well, I think
razzle.
that's why it died off 10 years ago.
There'd be some horror stories from that.
Horror
Those
stories.
emergency room people are gonna be like, "What in the"
They've seen it all.
I
They have
know.
seen it all, especially the ones that work, like, midnights. My grandma used to work midnights at the hospital, and she's like, especially when it's a full moon, you would not believe the things that they would see. Wild,
The full
wild.
moon is real. The full moon energy is real.
I agree. I
Yeah,
really do. Okay, I have to
super
tell you
wild.
something funny because you are a fan of Brazilian waxing, and I have had them done myself as well. And I
Mhm,
shared with you before we started today that I used to do Brazilian waxes, bikini waxes, all of that, right?
mhm.
It's not something they teach you in beauty school. It was something that, like, my spa offered. They wanted me and a few other girls to learn how to do it, so they brought a professional in and a model, and they taught us how to do Brazilian waxes, bikini wax, all of that. If somebody wants a landing strip or a triangle, all of that. And can
Okay,
I tell you, I was doing fine. I took the course, everything was great. I got certified, and then I started working on clients and I was absolutely horrible at it. I was so bad, and not because, like, my technique was
why?
off, because I personally feel like a Brazilian hurts so bad. My skin is
Yeah,
really sensitive,
it
and
does hurt. It
it
hurts really
hurts,
bad, and
and
I always I tell them beforehand too, 'cause sometimes I've had, like, a burn, I'm like, "My skin is
mm,
really, really sensitive
mm,
to the heat, like, please don't put the wax on me unless it's cooled enough."
cool.
Because there was one time I had one done, and I swear to God, it was, like, the, like, inside of my labia was, like, puffed and burned, and I was almost like, "I don't know if I'm ever gonna go get one again." I got
Mhm,
over it in, like, a couple months,
mhm.
but that burn, that scarred me for a little bit. That was painful.
I bet, and
Yeah.
it's traumatizing. You're like, "Can I ever trust somebody to do this again?" Because if you get someone who doesn't listen to you and they're like, "Oh, it's fine. You probably just had this wax or that wax. Like, I know what I'm doing." No, like, listen to your client. They know their body, and if their skin is sensitive to wax, and heat especially, you have to make sure it's cooled. But for people who don't know maybe what a Brazilian is, the difference between a Brazilian and a bikini is a bikini would just be any hair outside of, like, if you're wearing a bikini. So, it would be on the outer part, like, where your inner thigh is. Some women get hair that even grows onto their inner thigh, so it would be everything that sits outside of a bikini. Now, a Brazilian can be everything on the front, under the bikini. It can be, like, where your labia is, and then if you wanna go full, it is even inside of your butt, like your butt
Oh,
crack.
yeah, you gotta do the butthole.
It's the best part. It's so clean.
That's the only part that doesn't hurt. It
It's
actually feels good.
literally, the skin is so thick. It can handle it.
No, like, me and other people I know who've gotten Brazilians, we always say the best part is the end when they do your butthole.
Yeah,
Feels so good. Feels so
yeah.
good.
They should start with the butt because the butt doesn't hurt. It
No,
actually
it's
feels
it's nice
nice.
to end on the nice feeling. It's nice to end on a high note because the rest
True.
really does hurt. It's pretty bad.
So bad.
Are you supposed to take Advil beforehand?
I think you can. I feel like we did recommend that to people, but some people,
Okay.
it can thin their skin. That's the thing, like,
Oh,
you've gotta kinda learn. Everybody is different, and also the type of wax you're using. Some people use which a roll-on is not very hygienic. It should definitely be disposable sticks, and you should
yeah.
never double dip. But let me tell you what was funny about why I stopped doing Brazilians. So here I am, my technique was right, the wax was never too hot, I never double dipped, but when it was time to pull the strip, I should have been strong for my client, but I'm like, "It's gonna hurt, hang on. Are you ready?" And I was like, I would pull it and I would flinch for them. I was nervous for them because I know how bad it hurts. So I just was not good at that. Like, you need a woman who's in there and she's just getting it done. She's
Yeah.
strong, she's holding the skin tight,
Yes. I
and
feel like when they do the holding the skin and the really nice hard rip, I'm like, "Thank you, God," because 'cause I'm over there, like, I'm trying to take deep breaths. Like, I really try to meditate while it's happening of, like, I'm just gonna breathe, think about other la la things, like, don't focus on the
yeah,
pain whatsoever,
yep,
and yeah, it's that would be a hard job. I can see why you wouldn't wanna do that because
yeah.
if you know you're causing pain and, like, you're trying to distract them, but you've gotta pay attention to what you're doing. That would be difficult.
And I feel like because I am such a baby when it comes to pain, that I couldn't be strong for them, and I just bowed out gracefully. I'm like, "You know what? I can do everything else in the spa. I don't have to do this. Just because
Yeah,
you can doesn't mean you should." So I realized after doing maybe a handful of clients, I'm like, this is just not my strong suit. I'm going to
yeah,
stick with hair and makeup and spray tanning. And I stopped doing it. I couldn't do it anymore. And I would still do like armpits, full facial waxes, all that kind of stuff, legs. I had to step away from the Brazilians. But what are your tips? I would love to know, how do you prep for a Brazilian?
well, one of the things actually that I learned from the place that I go to, they said schedule yours at, like, the very last, like, day or 2 of your cycle, like, your
Mhm,
period,
mhm.
because obviously you're not supposed to do anything, they said, for 48 hours after a Brazilian. Is that true?
Yeah, you shouldn't, not because the skin is so, it's open, it's raw, it's
Yeah,
sensitive. You really
yeah,
shouldn't, and the friction can cause ingrowns, it can also cause a rash. The skin
yeah.
can become broken because it's already so thin at that point. Yeah.
Yes, and so then I usually like you're just saying, no fabric touching skin, like, I won't wear underwear, I'll wear, like, really loose sweatpants so that you don't get ingrowns. I also this is one of my tips, I love this stuff, it's from Bush Balm, but it's this ingrown hair oil. I use it even on my armpits because what I started noticing when I use it after Brazilians, I have very dark hair naturally. It took away that shadiness. Girls who know, like, if you're not, like, blonde down there, you start to get, like, a shadow, like, even, like, guys, like, the 5 o'clock shadow or whatever they call it. But I feel like
Yep.
on my armpits, it's taken away that shadowy look, and it definitely down there. So I love
I
this
love
stuff.
it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and
have
it
to check
prevents
that
the
out.
ingrowns because ingrowns hurt. Like, if you haven't
They
had an
do.
ingrown, it's basically like a pimple where your hair is growing into your skin and,
Mhm.
like, ooh, it's painful. It's like
It's
it
painful.
yeah, like pus is like fills with pus
Yep,
basically, right? Like around
yep.
the hair, and it really hurts. So
Yeah.
you want to avoid those at all costs. So yeah, don't wear underwear afterwards. use the ingrown hair oil, no sex,
Loose
you
sweats.
know.
Yep.
What's that?
How you said loose
Yeah,
sweatpants,
loose
and you
sweatpants.
wanna maybe do, like, a natural fabric, something like cotton, you don't wanna have, like, workout pants or jeans or anything, you want something that's breathable, linen, cotton, anything like that. You just wanna let her breathe. She's been
Mhm.
through a lot, and you want her to calm down, that's why the oils and that kinda stuff, like what you're talking about, but even the prep
Yeah.
beforehand, if you are prone to breakouts or even to ingrown hairs, like exfoliating with like an African net sponge and just really moisturizing and exfoliating the area to really get the hair follicle ready and prepped to have that hair removal done. And a lot of good estheticians will tell you like what length the hair should be, like you said, where you should be at in your period, all of that kind of stuff. It also, I feel like I've heard that you can experience more pain depending on what part of your cycle you get it at. So getting it towards
Mhm.
the end, that can be super helpful as well. But obviously, if it's not timed with your vacation and you're just a trooper and you can just do it, then just do it. As long as you're not bleeding, you're good. Talk about my shaving tips really quick before we move on to something else because
Yeah.
as much as I love Brazilians, I just my skin was so sensitive for way longer than it should have been. It was way more than the 48 hours. And my hair is really fine and it's really soft. I mean, it's the same as the hair on my head. So for me, I just didn't feel like I needed to do Brazilians as much. And it also doesn't grow. Like I'm part Asian, my hair just doesn't really grow. So one thing I would recommend is if you're going to shave, definitely look at getting one of these because one of the tips I saw on TikTok, Bree, you would have
Yes.
been horrified.
I
You
brought mine
have, yes.
too.
Oh, yours
Yeah.
is fancy. This one's cheap. It's only $10. You can get them anywhere. Amazon, Target, Dollar General, this brand specifically, and I think it takes like two AAA batteries. It's $10 and it's wet or dry. And you want to get that hair down to like a 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch is going to be the perfect like length to shave to where you're not going to get ingrown hairs. But I love yours. Tell me about yours.
So, no, this is one of the bush ball ones, but same thing, you can use
Love
it
it.
wet or dry, it's amazing. But yes, I think that's what a lot of people like, you wanna grow out your hair for the wax, but if you are just shaving it yourself, like, say, like, you don't wanna go through the pain of a Brazilian, you're shaving it yourself, a lot of people just shave whatever length it is, and it's so important to trim it up before you
Yes.
go to shave it if it has grown out. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And this was so crazy, Bree. So one of the tips that I saw, this girl had a pair of actual scissors. To me, they looked like hair cutting shears, but
Uh-huh.
she swears they weren't. And she was recommending people actually trim the hair down there. Now, if you've never, ever, I know it's crazy, scissors.
Wait, trim their pubic hair
Yes.
with
She was
scissors?
recommending that. Yes. And I was like, it actually made my stomach hurt a little bit thinking about what if you cut your labia? You're trying to trim your
No.
pubic hairs and
No.
oh, it just scared me. And maybe this is what people do. Do you think this is what people do? Like, okay, I know if it's your first time, let's say you're a teen or something and you've never shaved, you've never waxed, that hair is probably going to be pretty long. I still say
Oh,
maybe don't
honey.
go
Yeah, don't
skin to skin. Start with the hair further out and work
yeah.
your way in. And
Yes.
hold it if you have to. If you have to trim it, let's say it's abnormally long, hold the hair. Say this is your vagina. Hold the hair in between your fingers like a hairdresser will and trim that. I really don't recommend the scissors, but oh my God.
No.
I'm thinking maybe some people have hair longer than I'm aware of down there. If that's the case, try that.
Just get a trimmer. Get a trimmer. Get a trimmer.
Yeah, for $10, if you dull the blade, no big deal, just buy another one.
I'm literally nervous for any girl that
It
would take a pair of scissors down there.
really made me
That
nervous,
scares
I couldn't
me.
believe it. She did, she said she used scissors for the first time, and she said
Oh,
it may have
no.
even been kitchen scissors, she was, like, describing she was much younger, and this girl knew her stuff, like, I checked all of her tips, like, they were fantastic, but when she pulled out those scissors, scared me.
We don't want anybody to cut off their labia.
But okay, one thing after you are done trimming it down to a 1/4 inch using the different razors, I don't know that they know this. When you're shaving, you're gonna wanna shave down in the direction the hair grows. What most
Okay.
people don't know is that hair does not just grow one way. So if you just shave down like this, and let's say you want to be completely bald and fresh and clean like Brie and I, because it just feels good. As a girl, it just feels good to be bald. And it just, I love it. You're
The
gonna
best
shave
feeling.
down. It's the
So
best,
soft.
isn't it? I'm telling you, if my bathroom is clean, my kitchen is clean, and I'm bald down there, you can't tell me nothing. I got my whole
Oh,
life together.
top it
I love
off with a little matching set, and you're
Oh,
like, "I am on top of the world,
top of the
bitches."
world. I know somebody's gonna comment that they know exactly what we're talking about.
I know exactly what we're talking about.
So I love these razors that already have the built-in gel, but you can use if you have because my hair is fine, I don't need like an intense shaving cream. If your hair is more coarse, you're gonna wanna look into getting a shaving cream. Again, don't apply it into your vaginal canal, just like your labia, the outside of your vagina. Everywhere that there is hair, you can apply that. You're
Do
gonna
you know what I
start
love? Have you
what?
tried this? I brought it because 'cause I'm actually obsessed with this. This is from Athena Club, it's the Glossy Shave Oil.
No.
So instead of like a shaving cream, it's an
Yeah.
oil, and I feel
Mhm.
like it preps your skin so much better for
Okay.
shaving. I mean, I
Get
use
that
it on
one,
my
ladies.
legs, I use it on my armpits, I use it, if I didn't get a Brazilian. Um, this is amazing. This is amazing.
And you know
And it
what?
smells so good too.
This is why it's important to get these tips because everyone has different hair. Like, is your hair a little bit more coarse or is it fine, Brie?
Yes, I have very thick, coarse, it's
Yes.
like the Italian comes out.
Yes.
So,
So, for all my clients that were like Middle Eastern, Jewish, their hair was obviously so much more coarse than mine. So, their hair removal routine looked a little bit different than mine in the sense that they use like the Athena Club oil because you're going to want something to soften the hair before you remove it. If that hair is stiff and it is being pulled out when you're shaving, that's how you're going to get a hair
that's
loss.
exactly what it does, how you just explain it. It's like I can tell it softens it, so it's so much smoother when I go to shave it.
It's
So much
important.
smoother.
It's
Yeah.
important. And that's why it's important to also
I feel
identify
like
what
men actually really need this because it's like men, I feel
yes.
like, have the really
Oh, they
thick,
all
coarse.
do. They
Yeah, I
do.
feel like they need more of a shave oil.
Do you know men get Brazilians too? Yeah,
They want
men
their
get
butthole.
Brazilians.
They want
Of
their
course.
butthole.
But I don't know
They
why
get it on their
people
balls? Like, do they
they
really?
get everything. They can get everything.
The
Wax,
balls get
everything. Just like a woman.
get all of that waxed?
I never did it, but I had coworkers who have worked on men before, and yeah, they get it all waxed. I mean, they should feel clean and fresh too. We don't discriminate. And I
I
love a
know.
man who's
I
fresh.
understand that. I guess I never thought of, like, a man putting wax and getting the hair ripped off his balls. That's
Yeah,
just
they get it on everything. 20-year-old Ashley did not know that men did this just like women do.
hmm, okay.
Okay, but if we're back to the
37-year-old Bree didn't know that till today, so here we go.
comment down below if you also are today years old when you found out. Okay, so for shaving, like I said, the hair grows in different directions. So you're going to start going in the direction the hair grows. Then you're
Okay.
going to go side to side. And oh, I forgot to mention, if you're using one razor for your whole body, shave your vagina first. You want to use the razor while it is fresh and sharp. If it's dull, it's gonna cause so many problems, and especially if you do your armpits, if you use one of those deodorants that have, like, aluminum in it or causes a buildup under here and you use your razor on your armpits and then you go to your vagina, you will transfer some of that buildup from there and it will cause problems. You don't wanna do that. Always shave your vagina first. Then if you need to, you can use your razor everywhere else. But you shave down, you shave side to side, and then if you're, like, a pro, you can even shave up, but you wanna hold the skin tight.
Hold the skin, hold the
Hold the
skin.
skin tight because if
Yeah.
the skin is not taut, if it is loose, that is how you can also get razor burn, you can have issues, but start down, side to side, and then up. And that will just make sure that you get all the hair and that you are completely bald. And then I
Yes,
bet you
because I feel like if you don't hold the skin taut, you always have just a teeny little bit of stubble,
mhm,
and holding it taut, it's, like, almost like you get, like, the little bit of hair that, like, sticks under the skin.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And can you use that oil that you just showed me? Can you use it after to soothe? I wonder.
Lasting hydration, skin soothing. Directions: glide over wet or dry skin, shave with the razor. Then it says follow with the dewy body lotion for even smoother, softer
Okay.
skin.
Well,
So it
then
doesn't
there you
seem like it's
go.
an after, it seems like it's a
Yeah.
before.
Okay. So then, yeah, you could use a moisturizer afterwards if you have like an unscented, or you could use like an almond oil if your skin can
Or
handle
the ingrown
that.
hair oil.
The ingrown hair oil would be
Yeah.
even better because then you are making sure that you don't get anything in case your application of shaving or waxing didn't go as planned. So that's my tips for vaginal health. Did I miss anything? Is there anything you could think of?
Well, we didn't talk, I feel like, about any of the, like, probiotics or gummies
Yes.
or, like, things you can take to, I guess, from the inside out, kinda keep everything
Yeah.
smelling fresh down there.
Vaginal canal, making sure everything pH balance is good. That's where the probiotics come in. Now, I would love for you to share the one that you use because I feel like you've been using it for a while and you
Yeah.
really love it.
I'll grab them. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold, please.
Hold, please.
These are the 2 that I've been using. The first one is the Lemmy Purr. So, it's a vaginal
Yes.
probiotic gummy. It's really good. It tastes like pineapple.
Okay.
So good. And then the second one that I've tried, and I like both. I mean, they do essentially the same thing. It's just that this one's a capsule, not a gummy. And it's the Love Wellness Good Girl Probiotics. And this is right. It maintains vaginal and urinary tract health while supporting healthy vaginal pH levels. So,
Love
yeah,
that. I love
good
that.
one.
Okay, and that will have you probably smelling good, feeling good, and tasting good, which is can be just as important if you have a partner.
Yeah. I don't have anyone. I mean, we'll report back. When
Good
I meet my
feedback, good
husband,
feedback.
I'll be like, hey, for the podcast, can you just like, give a little taste
Yes.
test?
We need some research done for the podcast. Would you like to volunteer for tribute? We would love that. Have so many DMs after this episode.
See who slides into those DMs. One of the other tips that I feel like this is something my mom taught me, and I taught Presley, it's when you go to bed, you don't wear underwear.
Yep.
And I remember thinking one of the very first sleepovers that she had, like, oh no, what are like other parents potentially going to say? Because, they're changing in their pajamas or whatever. And she was like, I wasn't in the room. The girls were changing, but she said to them, why are you wearing underwear to bed? And I was like, oh God, they're probably gonna go home and be like, Prezi didn't want me to wear underwear. But I was like, it's because like I taught her that. Like you don't wear
Yes.
underwear before
Yes.
you go to bed.
Yep.
So yeah, because
No,
you gotta
it's
let it
so
air
true.
out.
You
You gotta
gotta
let it
let
air
her
out.
air out. She has to
Mhm.
breathe, and especially one thing about that, can I also say I don't know if people know this, but you're actually supposed to replace your underwear every 6 to 12 months. So if you're not doing that, if your underwear are really old, or let's say, you wear the same ones when you're working out all the time, they actually did a study where they tested the underwear, and I think it was specifically thongs because obviously that's like all up in your lady parts. And
Yeah.
they tested it, and even after it was washed and cleaned, it still contained feces and bacteria, even after it was washed and dried. So it's just something to keep in mind if
Well,
you're using all of our tips. Bree's so grossed out right now.
I'm sorry. I am a germaphobe. That stuff,
Same,
like you want to get me
same.
grossed out, start spitting those facts.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
it's true. And I just thought it was
I'm
interesting.
about to burn my entire underwear drawer and start from scratch right now. Like, thank you for that motivation. Like, I'm gonna have a panty burning party tonight and treat myself to some new love because I'm so grossed out right now.
And lingerie, I feel like I don't know that it necessarily falls into this category because let's be honest, the lingerie doesn't stay on for very long. It's like
No.
minutes, if that.
Yeah.
So lingerie is different and you wash it by hand, you dry it properly, do all of the things, especially when you have really nice high-end lingerie. But I'm talking about your underwear that you wear every single day and especially like that you wear to the gym, that kind of stuff. So if you're using all of our tips for waxing, shaving, double cleansing, your vagina and you're still noticing that there's a smell. Now, a smell is normal and it's natural, but if it's an off-putting smell, then you might want to consider changing your underwear or even your workout pants. I know some women go commando when they work out. I am not one of those people. I like a nice little thong, but 6 to 12 months is what they recommend. And just don't invest in super expensive if you want to be one of the people who are replacing it frequently like you should.
Okay, so I guess like we should talk about this because let's just say I'm like I don't know. What is it supposed to smell like? If it smells fishy, is that normal? Or does
I
that
don't
mean you
think
need to
that's
be
normal. I
so
don't
a
think that's
fishy
normal.
smell, you should be checking your hygiene habits, potentially talking to a doctor if it doesn't go away.
Yeah, I think, like, a fishy smell is probably like, there might be something wrong, that's where, like, your pH is off. You might even have, like, a UTI.
Because I feel like a musky smell is normal.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I think a sweet, musky smell is what is desired if you're following all the proper hygiene.
Yes.
If it has a fishiness to it, I would be figuring out, are you not using a fan when you get out of the shower to dry off down there?
I just feel like my vagina, she's so high maintenance, she's so sassy, and I just cannot upset her. She needs to be treated like freaking a cashmere sweater. She doesn't like to be I can't irritate her, no roughhousing unless, it's with my husband, but yeah,
She's a queen.
she
She's
is
a
a
queen over
queen.
there.
Am I alone in
Queen.
that?
Like, "Where's my blow dryer?"
Are you that way too, or is your skin more like it can handle?
No, I told you. That's why even when I get Brazilians, I tell them, I'm like, "I'm very sensitive
Okay.
down there." Yeah.
Okay, so it says you should be concerned about vaginal odor if it's strong, fishy, or accompanied by other symptoms like itching, burning, or unusual discharge, as these can indicate a bacterial infection, yeast infection, or STD. Actually, it says sexually transmitted infection. I feel like they don't use STD anymore. I feel like they say sexually.
STI now?
Yeah, they do.
STI. Okay.
We're so old, Brie, that we've literally lived long enough for them to go from STD to STI. If you notice a sour, tangy smell accompanied by a cottage cheese like discharge, this could be a sign of a yeast infection. So, yeah, I feel like what you said earlier, if it's like a sweet, musky smell, that's normal. But if you're smelling like fishy or there's like a weird discharge, you should probably get that checked out. I feel like it's not normal.
'Cause I think
And
a lot of women, this has happened to multiple friends when they first get married and are sexually active. If you're not going to pee almost immediately after sex, a lot of women end up getting UTIs and or even just, yeast infections or whatever, you know what I mean? I feel like it
mhm,
all,
yep.
like, starts to happen, and so I think it's important to obviously maintain your vaginal hygiene, but it's all these little tricks that you just don't necessarily know until you enter that phase of life sometimes. So,
No, you're so right.
yeah.
The going to the bathroom after you have sex almost immediately, if you can, is going to help any bacteria that has been pushed in there. It's going to help flush it out. And you want to make sure that you fully empty your bladder.
Well, because I feel like that's just where so many women, when all of this is so new for them, you know
Yeah.
Yeah. But one other thing you just were talking about that it made me think of that I just know I like to carry in my purse. But so they're called stallmates. And that's what I like about them because a lot of other vaginal wipes, if you get them, come in larger packs. I know like you were going to share some wipes, but these,
Yeah.
because they come in little individual ones.
That would be perfect for
Let me
your
see, I
purse.
might have one in my bag right here.
Go grab it.
Okay, no, I got 2 different things for my sister's bachelorette party. These are just little rose wipes. These are more that you can use, like, for your armpits, under your boobs, like, when you're out, right? And you're just like,
Yeah.
"I wanna feel fresh." But again, I like that this is just a little skinny individual pack, so if you have a really small purse and you're going out on a date or out with the girls or something like that, you could just throw it in, and it's not like a big pack of wipes. But these are the ones I was talking about that are called the Stallmates. So it says that they're sensitive formula, which I definitely need. It says they're flushable. I wouldn't flush them just to be on the safe side. I feel like anybody who has like a plumber in their family is always like, even if it says it's flushable, you don't flush anything besides toilet paper. But yeah,
True.
it's hypoallergenic wet wipe. So this scent is the feminine fresh one. I think they might make these for guys too. Like I think there might be like dude ones, but
I need
stall made.
those.
And so yeah, just kind of a nice way to keep yourself clean down there if it's after sex, after going number 2, after sweating at the gym or dancing
Mhm.
or hot day activities. So Love these.
No. And it's important to use those because the ones I was gonna show, I don't use vaginally. This is just after you use the bathroom. It keeps you fresh. My husband put me on these. I love them, but I'm gonna send me the link to the ones you have, Brie, because I really want to try those. I feel like I would even love to get them for Aubrey because, like I said, after your period, especially young girls, I don't feel like they necessarily use tampons. They use more pads, and you can just
Mhm.
feel really like you want to feel fresh and you want to feel clean.
Yes.
And so I
Yeah.
feel like I would love to get her some of those too.
Yeah.
So definitely send me those. But
Okay.
we were talking about, especially since Hayden brought it up, keeping your butt crack clean. And I am a huge fan of the Cottonelle wipes. The reason I say I wouldn't use these vaginally is because I think that they do contain fragrance. It's just not a good idea. But this, you'll use less toilet paper. You feel so clean back there. You still need a shower. Don't be nasty. If you went to the bathroom, you need a shower. I shower twice a day, but I have to say that out loud. Brie, there was this trend for a while there where people were bragging about they don't shower for like days. And they were really trying to justify it, saying that like the
It's
bacteria keeps you healthy and everything. And I'm like, if you
no.
pooped, you need a shower. Like this will get you through so you're fresh, but please shower, wash your ass. Don't be nasty. Please.
It's maybe that's why that girl asked us, "How what do I do? Because my boyfriend stinks."
She did. She did. I love when people like write in stuff like that. She's like, "How do you tell your partner they smell?" Maybe get them the Cottonelle wipes and then also remind them that they need to bathe. But I think they have
Mhm.
dude wipes and they have all different types of
Yeah.
brands now.
I think that is so I've been over, like, multiple guys' houses, and when they see they have the dude wipes, I'm always like, "Okay, his hygiene's in check. We're good." Like
Yes. Because I feel like it's such an American thing, right? Like we just use dry toilet paper and nowhere else do they do that. They have bidets in other countries.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a bidet or you're American and you just think you can use dry toilet paper, I promise you you're not clean. Like it feels clean at first, then time goes on and you're not clean. Use those wipes, you'll never go back. You'll
Ugh,
love them. But when my husband introduced them to me, I'm like, "Where have these been my entire life?"
yeah,
They're
you
amazing,
gotta love
and they're good for kids when you're trying to potty train kids because I feel like kids use a lot of toilet paper because like, you teach them to wipe until there's nothing there, right? You have them use a wipe, and I for some reason, I've never tried baby wipes. I feel like I don't know, maybe you could use baby wipes, but I just like the Cottonelle, and I know the dude wipes are super popular. What did Hayden say? A dirty butt crack?
no crusty well, he I said, "Make sure you wash your butt crack. We don't want a crusty butt crack," and he said,
Right?
"You're a crusty butt crack."
I love him. Don't be a crusty butt crack,
Mhm. I
okay?
will use Cottonelle wipes so I'm not a crusty butt crack. There you go.
Were really good tips, and I feel like, of course, we could do another episode and talk about the entire body. I mean, hair, I could talk forever. Skincare, you and I could talk
Mhm.
forever. You have a beautiful skincare routine, and I feel like this was a good one, though, based on, like, you going on the trip to Miami and hanging
Yeah,
out with the girls. I feel like this really is just, like this episode's for the girls and guys, because I feel like these tips could definitely be used for men as well. We all want to be fresh and clean. And if your partner is being a little bit distant, maybe try these tips and see if they get closer. You might stink and they just don't know how to tell you.
so
I feel like I've learned a lot from you. You're going to definitely have to link all of these products, Brie, because I definitely want to check them out.
you are such an expert on this. I feel like you need to start, like, being the hygiene queen of TikTok or something with all these tips that you have.
They've got
Yeah.
it covered over there. They know what they're doing. Minus the scissors, I was quite impressed. I'm like, this generation of young women, I probably because of social media, right? Like they're able to communicate with women all over the world. So where it took me 17 years of meeting women from all different cultures and walks of life, like they get that from the internet now.
And don't you just love how it's, like, helping sisters out all around the world? That's
Yes.
the beautiful side of social media that we need to
Yes.
continue.
Well,
Yeah.
and there was this one woman, she said that her and her sister lost their mother young, and their dad, I mean, what does he know? What does he
I know
know
this
about
that's
vaginal
what
health?
these tips can also help dads of young girls
Yes,
who yeah, it's like, "Hey, I
yes.
don't really necessarily wanna talk about this with, like, my daughter, but at least I could give her this
The
podcast."
podcast link. Yeah,
Yeah. Ah, well, thanks for all your tips.
you too. I learned so much
Yeah.
today.
And thank you everybody so much for watching and listening. If you are listening over on Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star review. It's so helpful. And if you're listening or watching over on YouTube, let us know in the comments anything you'd like to see on future episodes, or if you have any questions for Ashley or I, let us know, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye, loves.